Good morning. Wow, I'm glad to be back, right?
Yeah.
Did you see how many listeners did the Photoshop of me kissing you as a sailor in Times Square? Did you see how many?
Hey, wait, I haven't seen that yet.
What?
Oh, we did. I'll send it to you.
Travis, get on that. Send me
We
a
have
text. Send it to me by my text.
We have some Photoshop geniuses.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow. Okay.
so this was obviously a huge relief this morning. With the missile that hit Poland was probably a stray fired by Ukraine's air defense and not a Russian strike, according to Poland and NATO yesterday.
Right.
Obviously, easing concerns of an escalation. Just give us your thoughts.
Well, first, I've been in that relatively immediate area where that strike, where that missile exploded. A lot of activities were, along the Polish-Ukrainian border, and I did training out in that area. And we were under constant air raid alert. And, these missiles take hours to fly to their targets, and they have to fly through several air defense zones. And each air defense zone, has its own air control radars, air detection radars, and its batteries of surface-to-air missiles. And when you come into an area like where this hit, which is northwest of the city of Lviv, those missiles had to have flown hundreds of miles to get there, right? To FYI you, when they shoot those hypersonic missiles off of these bombers over Western Russia, it's a 17-hour car drive from one end of Ukraine to the other. So it's a very long missile flight, even at 300-400 miles per hour. It takes some time. So the air defense systems are waiting for you, right? And they try to engage you as far away as possible in a 360-degree protective circle. And sometimes, like this one, I suspect the missile went to the east, tracked on the cruise missile, and one of them may even have destroyed the cruise missile, but they launch in pairs generally. Yeah. And the other one was tracking it as it went west, and it just went stupid, as we call it, and crashed into Poland. I'm glad that Russia didn't lose its mind and didn't try to do anything deliberately. I'm glad that it wasn't an accident, because we need to tone down this whole let's go to World War III stuff. Yeah. Because Ukraine, was attacked by Russia. We all know that. But there's no need to really want to escalate.
Well,
Ukraine has got this.
When I heard this yesterday, I was like, Putin's invaded Poland. Where does that sound familiar? I mean, because at first, you didn't know what it was. So, yeah, you're right. It's a relief. But I got to ask you, in light of all the books you've written, that we are at this point in history where a clearly criminal president who is under investigation for both sedition and espionage just declared a run for president again yesterday.
Good God. Someone clearly put into his head years ago that the only way to stay out of trouble if you're a rich white male in America is to stay in the courts, is to make sure that you are either running for office so that you have some measure of immunity, or that you are suing people and delaying everything. This is built into his psyche now. Yeah. This presidential run is also because I think he feels that the Republican Party was flagging, and he needs that, that narcissistic boost. I took part in a film called Unfit at one point, and by this group, Duty to Warn. And that's what they said. This is narcissistic wavering on his part. He needs the people to be adoring him. He needs to knock down all his enemies. And that's what's going to happen. He is going to get the nomination. Everything that people are saying with DeSantis and the others, they're going to fall into line. You all know he's going to fall into line. He'll be nominated in he may demand that there is no convention other than his nomination convention and no challengers.
Travis and I have a dream that he will be indicted, be in prison, and run third party.
We're big thinkers.
Yeah.
We are here at Stephanie Miller
2 years
International.
Ago, when I wrote my latest book, They Want to Kill Americans, I was tracking very carefully, day to day, the commentary that was going on the most extremist sites that they had. And they were really pushing for a third party. Not the Trump party. What was it called? It was supposed to be called like the Trump
First.
Independent Party or something. Something like that, or there was America First for a push, but they wanted to change the Republican Party logo from the elephant to a lion's head, right?
Yeah.
And I was really rooting for it at the time. However, what it really showed me was that the extremist elements in the country have enough mainstreaming that this could actually become viable. I don't know whether anyone's going to challenge Trump. I don't think DeSantis and the rest of them have the wherewithal. They are very afraid of the base because the base is crazy and armed. And they could do just as many threats to them or harm to them as they could do to the rest of the country. So I think that Trump will use this as their brown shirt militias. I said that in 2020.
Yeah, but
that,
I mean, Malcolm,
win, lose, or draw.
You haven't had a chance to do this. You haven't had the second chance to do a second victory lap with us after Kerry Lake also lost Arizona, and the balance of power still hangs in the balance in the House. We still don't know yet. So I know you at first were. Cautiously optimistic about the results, but I gotta say this was a huge repudiation of the big lie, was it? Yeah, go ahead.
It was. I mean, I think what I said was, congratulations for defending democracy-ish, because we could still lose the House.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a big fan now of using the Democratic being pretty close to one vote to put Liz Cheney in as speaker. I'm sure you could even get a couple of Republicans to do that, and it takes a simple majority to elect the speaker, and you don't have to be a sitting member of Congress. Remember how we were afraid that they were going to nominate Donald Trump as speaker after he had lost the election. But, I certainly hope that right now that we understand that this is day zero. We are at the first day that we now need to throw our backs into the defense of democracy and shout this every day in the same way that the Republicans do their messaging. One simple message: continue to defend democracy. Stop the authoritarians and fascists.
Let's listen to Liz Cheney, since you brought it up. Liz Cheney yesterday.
I think 4 out of 5 prevailed. And I looked at this election cycle very much as one where we had to make sure that we prevented election deniers from taking power. And especially in offices like Secretary of State's offices, governorships around the country. And I think the outcome was really heartening and very hopeful.
I mean, it should be said, Malcolm, I think almost everyone she campaigned for won. Everyone almost that Trump and DeSantis campaigned for lost. So, I mean, democracy did win in this midterm, right?
Absolutely. And, hey, bravo to Generation Z.
Yep.
For the youth to turn out the vote and to understand what was at stake. That grandma and grandpa, in many parts of America apparently are doing meth and have decided that, a bloated orange billionaire is their only salvation, and destroying the entire social welfare network is the American way. These kids saw better.
Yeah.
And they're leading us now. The David Hobbs, all the rest of you.
Yep.
God bless you for taking care of, for essentially taking care of people like me who think, the Walmart shoppers who think Donald Trump is a living God. Yeah. And that, that their word was going to become law, that they would take away all rights from the other 65% of America. They really saved this day.
Yeah.
But more importantly, we have instilled into the minds of many people now that you have to vote every time. And that's why, the election between Warnock and this, what did Dave Chappelle call it? Obviously stupid man, Herschel Walker, right? Here's where we can do it again, right? Use this, this BDE that we have going from this election, and make sure that we get out and turn out for Reverend Warnock, so that we have a cinema-proof majority in the Senate. Because you guys know how I feel about this. You know she will defect if they give her committee posts, and she will throw the Senate to the Republicans. I don't doubt that for 1 second. So we have to turn out for Warnock so that if she does defect, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, that was what this was about for me, is making mention and cinema irrelevant. But so what is it? So Malcolm, are you confident still that Trump is going to be indicted? I mean, most of our legal experts, I don't know what the timing is. Now I don't know whether it's that, they're considering the election season is still going until the Georgia runoff. But, obviously Georgia and the espionage case, I think, seem pretty imminent, don't you?
And this obviously leaked report. Once again, the conservatives in the New York, in the FBI leak out to the New York Times that they didn't think Trump stole those documents for malicious purposes, but just for his ego. Really? Yeah. I've handled top secret SCI, sensitive compartmented access information with sub-accesses, right? That go completely to the National Command Authority. That's the President of the United States. And I was in mortal terror of every document, right? Yeah. Mishandling those documents. Mm-hmm. He had hundreds in his possession, and they were all very pertinent to the enemies or to the people who could benefit from that, the benefit from the secrets of the United States. So I don't doubt this for a minute that, that Merrick Garland's going to do something, but I have no faith. I have no faith that he's going to believe that Donald Trump is equal to the hundreds of people who have been charged and convicted of mishandling classified information. Yeah. There is no double standard, right? If they're going to send the Walker spy ring to jail for taking documents, they've got to send Donald Trump to jail for taking documents. If they're going to put, what was her name? Reality Winner.
Reality Winner.
Reality Winner took one document and went to jail for 5 years. Donald Trump stole hundreds, and there should be no standard. So do I have faith that that's going to happen? No, I do not. Can we pressure that? Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Because the last time everybody started questioning Merrick Garland, he suddenly came out and explained it all.
Mm-hmm. Yes. By the way, Chris has reminded me that Shouty McShoutface is back.
Yep. Yes.
We have missed you, Shouty.
We need more.
I've just started. You should have seen the shouting I was doing in Ukraine.
Yeah, he's back. He's back, everybody. All right. Love you, sweetheart. See you next week.
All right. Take care.
There
Bye-bye.
he goes. Malcolm Nance. Malcolm Nance.